Good morning. My name is Mebby Jackson. Good morning. My name is Mebby Jackson, and on the behalf of the Board of Directors of the Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Church and the Program Council, I welcome you to the service today. I also welcome those who are visiting us online and from other... Hello? Can you hear me now? Okay. So on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Church and the Program Council, I welcome you to the service today. I also welcome those who are viewing online and in other areas of the building. You are welcome here, whoever you are, wherever you are from, and wherever you are on your journey. If you are new to this church and would like more information about it, there is a pocket in the seat in front of you, and you could fill that out and put it in one of the collection baskets in the back of the service area by the choir rail. And if you are online and would like to know more about our church, there is a drop-down menu, and you pick the thing that says, I would like more information. No, it says stay in touch. Never mind. Okay. Also in the hallway as you entered, there is a table for the Religious Exploration Program. Either Miriam or Catherine will be there, and you can get information about those programs from them. And so as we move forward today, remember that we are each other's keepers. And now for announcements, we have Miss Alice Woody.
Good morning. It's great to see everybody who made it in, and good morning to anyone who's out there in virtual land.
Use the microphone.
Should we start again? Apparently we should. Good morning. It's great to see all of you who are here, and to hope that there are people out in streaming land also. I want to talk with you about Family Promise. It's coming up soon. It'll be June 16 through 23rd. We are trying a new method of signing up to volunteer. The jobs will be almost exactly what we've had in the past, but we are trying an electronic sign-up. We have a link to that page and to a page with a lot of information about the jobs and the purpose of Family Promise. Those links are available in the newsletter, on the Facebook page, and in the email list. We also are keeping our old method, our manual method, going. You can talk with Betty Coleman. Where is Betty? There she is, way back in the corner. With Betty Coleman or me. Today we will be out in the hall right as you exit the building. Our contact information is in all of the places I mentioned for the link to sign up electronically, plus we'll have some pages to hand out with our contact information, telephone numbers, and emails. If you don't know what Family Promise is, stop by, talk to us. Get somebody to hold your place in line while you're waiting to get in for the potluck. You can sign up, you can ask questions about what we do, what our purpose is, and you can also tell us if you have any brilliant ideas about ways we can make things better and more effective for our families when they come to visit. Thank you so much.
And now Eddie Chin will give us some information about next week's congregational meeting.
Good morning. I guess next Sunday, June 9th, after our service at 12:30, we're going to have our year-end congregational meeting. And you should have gotten an email, I think, over the weekend. And some of the things that we'll be voting on will be the budget, nominations. I believe we have 6 people finishing up their assignment on the board, including me. And also several board committee members that you're going to have to vote on, and also several bylaw changes. This is a good opportunity for you to come and have a say in the direction of where the church goes. So it's really important that you either attend online or what? Yeah, it's real important that you attend, or at least be online and do an online vote or do an absentee ballot. We'll be offering some light refreshments also. And a follow-up to that, on Wednesday, this June 5th, this coming Wednesday at 6 o'clock, we'll be offering a in-person and online meeting to answer any questions that you may have on these bylaw changes, the nominations, and the budget on there. It'll be online and also in person in the Lizzie Crozier-French room. And you should be able to pick up the link on the calendar by probably tomorrow, and we'll also send out an email with the link on the listserv and also Facebook. Anyway, thank you.
And now Lynn will share with us some information about the welcoming committee and today's lunch.
Good morning. The Welcoming Congregation Committee is kicking off Pride Month with a potluck this afternoon. It is a rainbow theme. Please join us after the service in the fellowship hall for a Pride party. The Welcoming Congregation Committee is looking for new members, so please stick around for my recruitment speech during the potluck. We would love to have you on our team. We want to get the church recertified with UUA as a welcoming congregation. Happy Pride, everyone.
And now Claudia Presley will give us some information on how to give.
Good morning. My name is Claudia Presley. I'm the Director of Finance and Operations here at TVUUC. I think I'm the last announcement before we actually get into the service, so you can all breathe a sigh of relief that we're almost ready to start. What I need to say today is simply that today is a Generosity Offering Sunday. What that means is that 100% of any contribution that you make today that is not listed as a pledge goes to the general operating fund of TVUUC. There's a number of ways to give. There are QR codes that are back on the choir railings. There are offering baskets that are back there that you can drop checks or cash in. There is a giving kiosk in the lobby where you can use a credit card or a debit card to give. You can also, if you are watching us online, or even if you're sitting here in the sanctuary and you have Facebook open or a browser open or something, there should be a button or a bar that you can press that says Give Now. If you really like to text, which I know a number of you do, the number is 73256. Type in TVUUC and the amount that you would like to give. So once again, thanks for being here. This is a Generosity Offering Sunday, so please be generous. Have a wonderful morning.
Please silence your cell phones.
Good morning. Again, we reground ourselves here in our highest values. Love is the center and the foundation of this faith. Love is the power that holds us together as a community. As we enter into worship, then, let us open our hearts to the healing power of liberating love. Because love is not only something we receive, but something we practice in community. Let fall away all that might distract us from the wholehearted practice of love. Let us be accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through a discipline of spiritual love. As we continue to listen and learn, to act, to grow, may we each unfold in wholeness, both loving deeply and truly loved. Come, let us worship together.
It says look for an insert, but I understand we're going to have a orally led opening song. Which side are you on?
Which side are you on, my friend? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, my friend? Which side are you on? Come, all you seekers of the truth, and listen while I sing about our lives online today and the changes they can bring. Which side are you on, my friend? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, my friend? Which side are you on? When Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, within us they all lie. Online we wear our different masks as our real selves divide. Which side are you on, my friend? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, my friend? Which side are you on? But in this Unitarian place, we seek to find our soul, to join our fractured selves as one and make our spirits whole. Which side are you on, my friend? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, my friend? Which side are you on? So let's embrace our truest selves and let the light shine through. Unite the parts within our hearts to be both blind and true. Last time, which side are you on, my friend? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, my friend? Which side are you on?
Hi, it's me again. I forgot one message, sorry. Today, after the first Sunday lunch, there is a adult RE workshop calling for Foundations of Our Faith, led by Mark Mahundro and the Reverend Gordon Gibson. And today's topic is UUism and social justice. So please join them at 1 p.m. So I'm a member as well as the board as the spiritual care team. And today I am here to share our joys and concerns. The spiritual care team is a group of people in the congregation who are deep listeners and have some training in spiritual and other matters so that we can help one another. We have a phone number listed in the order of service and on the website. Please call or text as you need. Everything is confidential. And next week we have one of our congregational offerings, which is the listening booths. So if you would like a compassionate ear, please stop by one of the booths after the service next Sunday. So our hearts today go out to Barbara Johnson, who had emergency surgery following a bowel perforation this week. She went into septic shock. She is recovering at Blunt Memorial Hospital, and her daughter Lena has been visiting and says she's improving after a very scary health issue. Please keep her in your thoughts and prayers as she has a speedy recovery. We have also learned the unfortunate news that Chance Adams is in the ICU. He had been eagerly participating in the Camp Critter this week, making friends and playing pirates and zombies on the playground. He apparently had a stroke that wasn't quickly diagnosed, which makes the treatments a little bit more concerning. But Tracy, sorry, I can't read with these. I'm one of those people that can't read with glasses. Trish reports that he has been awake and alert at times and has worked with a storybook, pressing vocal cues, and missed one, but that was just because of more of a visual error than a cognitive error. And there is a food train that is being worked up on the Caring app. If you are a member of that, you can help that way. And Trish is very, very grateful for all of our support, and she is very hopeful for Chance's recovery. And his journey has been long and bumpy, yet he always seems to make it through. Chance is our champ. And Sylvia Smith reports that she had her I don't know if it's final, she had her chemo on Friday for her stage 4 lung cancer. And she is recovering and working well to manage her life after these experiences. And Roger Kroll continues his many regular activities, including going to the Alzheimer's support meetings that he enjoys. So let's send a big round of healing energy to those two souls as they navigate their incredible healing journeys today. And there is a table in the fellowship hall that is the caring table. And every Sunday when we say these joys and concerns, there are cards that go out to the people that we have talked about. And Wendy Sire has been a tireless and graceful steward of this table for many, many times. And if she is not present at that table on any given Sunday, her energy went behind what is presented there at all times. She is always helpful in getting more information to the spiritual care team of who needs a card and what needs to be said. So we give our heartfelt congratulations and gratitude to Wendy Sire for her tireless work at the caring table. And finally, we have had the news that our beloved minister Chris has his own healing journey ahead of him. He shared this last week with the staff and the board, and this week through the newsletter. He will be undergoing treatment for prostate cancer this summer. His medical team is optimistic for treatment and a cure, and they will be working towards that goal. And Chris has seen to the well-being of this congregation for 23 years. He has been a great help to every single one of us. And now, as they say, it takes a village. So it's our turn to help him. So let's find ways to bring light and love into his life while he heals his body. We all have our special connections to Chris. We can highlight them this summer. We can start by singing our congregational song to bring back that light and love strongly into the sanctuary. Chris, we have your back. We will love you into health, for love is the spirit of this church. So please. For all joys spoken and concerns spoken and unspoken, thank you.
Please turn to responsive reading 602. If there is to be peace in this world, if there is to be peace in the nations, if there is to be peace in the cities,
There must be peace between neighbors.
and if there is to be peace between neighbors,
There must be peace in the home.
if there must be peace in the home,
There must be peace in the heart.
So Romans 7:15 to 20. I don't understand myself at all, for I really want what is right, to do what is right, but I can't. I do what I don't want to do, what I hate. I know perfectly well that what I am doing is wrong, and my bad conscience proves that I agree with these laws that I am breaking, but I can't help myself, because I'm no longer doing it. It's a sin inside me that is stronger than I am and makes me do these evil things. I know I am rotten through and through, so far as my old sinful nature is concerned. No matter which way I turn, I can't make myself do right. I want to, but I can't. When I want to do good, I don't. When I try not to do wrong, I do it anyway. Now, if I am doing what I don't want to do, it is plain where the trouble is. Sin still has me in its evil grasp.
Let's take a moment to enter into a time of meditation, to enter into that peace that if we're going to find it in the world, we need to first find it within ourselves. Let us cultivate boundless goodwill. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none in anger or ill will wish another harm. Even as a mother watches over her child, so with boundless mind should one cherish all living beings, radiating friendliness over the whole world, above, below, and all around, without limit. So be it. I invite you to remain sitting and turn in your hymnal to hymn 119. You can see the theme is about the conflicted self is a theme in the service, and that's definitely a theme in this song. Once to every soul and nation. Whether you know it or not, this week our church has been filled with critter camp, and we've had kids of all ages, and we've had snakes, and we've had dogs, and we've had all sorts of critters, and we've had all sorts of games and songs. I got to see David in camp counselor mode, and I got to see Catherine Farmer Loya at her most organized. And I mention this just because today our offering goes to the work of the church, and I've seen it with my own eyes this week. We do amazing, powerful work that brings all ages together. So I invite you to give generously to that good cause.
Robert Schumann, a prominent Romantic composer, expressed his inner conflicts and dualities through two fictional characters, Florestan and Eusebius. He invented them as pseudonymous contributors to his music criticism journals, but they also appear in his own compositions. Eusebius represents his introspective, dreamy side, while Florestan embodies his passionate, fiery nature. Much like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, these characters symbolize the divided self. In his Fantasiestücke, Schumann integrates these contrasting personalities into a unified musical expression, demonstrating how our inner conflicts can be harmonized. Des Abends. This is Eusebius in the evening. Aufschwung. Now Florestan is soaring. Warum? Eusebius asks, why? Grillen. Florestan gets carried away on a humorous whim. Fabel. They tell a story together. Ende vom Lied is the ending of the song. Florestan has decided they're done. Coda is the end of the song, where Eusebius offers a final thought.
Have you ever known someone who is kind and thoughtful and courteous in person, but a flame-throwing troll on the internet? I think most of us have. This morning I want to take time to reflect on that peculiar phenomenon which seems to be a symptom of our increasingly technological society. In this hour, I want us to reflect on the mysterious story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Email. Most of us are familiar with the basic premise of the story, written by Robert Louis Stevenson in 1886, long before there was an internet. The strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. In the story, Dr. Jekyll tries to create a potion that will separate his good impulses from his bad impulses, but you know, like all things in science fiction, things don't go according to plan. There are unintended consequences. When Dr. Jekyll drinks the potion, he turns into Mr. Hyde, a man with no conscience who commits horrific crimes and shows no remorse. So there is one man but two personalities. Dr. Jekyll is very kind and considerate and admired. Mr. Hyde is a terror, a reprobate, and a menace to society. So in the 19th century, it was a potion that could turn a kind person into a cruel person. Today, it's the internet. People who are nice to us face to face can send us surprisingly hostile emails. People who have all the outward appearances of amiability can post bitter, angry diatribes on social media. There is one person, but two personalities, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Email. And I have to say, once I announced this title, more than one person has come forward to say, "Is this sermon about me?" So I want to say it's about all of us. It's about all of us. Let's use that metaphor of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Email to practice self-examination. Because there are many religious and philosophical traditions that say we are conflicted inside. And there are different metaphors and images for that conflict. The novelist William Faulkner observed, "The only thing worth writing about is the human heart in conflict with itself." And according to the Vedanta tradition, the Bhagavad Gita is all about a civil war going on within ourselves, two opposing armies within us, with our inner lives as the battleground. Zoroastrians called this a conflict between the God of light and the God of darkness, with our inner lives where the struggle takes place. And the philosopher Plato said we are like a charioteer with two headstrong horses pulling us in opposite directions at all times. Sigmund Freud used a similar kind of image. He said we have three different parts of ourselves. We have the superego, which always wants to do the right thing, always wants to do the noble thing, always wants to do the good thing. And there's the id that just wants what it wants when it wants it, just pure, unadulterated appetite. And then there's the ego, the charioteer in the middle between these two strong differences, trying to reconcile the tension. Now, the Apostle Paul laments this inner conflict by crying out, "The good that I would, I do not, and the evil that I would not, that I do." And the German poet Goethe once observed, "There's enough stuff in me to make both a gentleman and a rogue." And so if these assessments of the human condition are accurate, every one of us on any given day might be either Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Email. One day we might be the flamer, the next day we might be the flamed. I remember the first time I got flamed by email. I was pretty new to the technology. Somehow I got through seminary without even having an email address. And when I got to my first congregation, I was in love with my new congregation and just excited and on cloud nine about the possibilities. And then I looked in my email box and I had an email from one of the nicest, most thoughtful, most kind people. And that email singed my eyebrows. It was so hostile and so hot. Suffice it to say that I survived my first flame by email and was able to work on that relationship so that it was a good one and continue to have a good relationship with that person until the day I left that congregation. But it was a sobering lesson in how technology reveals different parts of our personality, reveals sides of ourselves that are hitherto unseen. Now, I once had a friend of blessed memory who I sometimes refer to as my frenemy. We got along great in person, but we could not get along on the internet. My friend and I once took a long road trip. We were in a camper van together, and we traveled for a month together, and we had a great time. We got along perfectly. We never had an argument, even though we were living in close quarters and cooking meals in close quarters. But once that trip was over, our relationship fell apart on Facebook. On Facebook. His comments on my posts were often critical and hostile, full of vitriol, sanctimony, and self-righteousness. Now, I tell this story because my friend was both Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Email. He was kind, considerate, thoughtful, empathetic, funny, and entertaining. And he was hostile, angry, polarizing, divisive, a person with a special talent for estrangement. In person, we could share a meal, enjoy a night out, regale each other with stories, but his posts on social media could make my blood boil. So what is it about the internet that can turn a Dr. Jekyll into a Mr. Email? What is it about email and social media that can turn a nice person into a monster? Well, when we're sending emails, we cannot see each other's faces. We cannot see each other's expressions. We are unable to hear each other's tone of voice. And this can create misunderstandings that exacerbate or create conflicts. I also think the medium gives us a false sense of security. One humorist once said that he tried to put just enough hostility into his emails that it stung the other person, but not so much hostility that they would hunt him down and beat him up. So there is a distance in social media that can bring out maybe more courage than we should have, and make it easier for us to employ the slings and arrows of outrageous email. Now, the electronic communications that hurt adults can be devastating to the young, absolutely devastating. And the more and more research that comes out about the impact of the internet and cyberbullying on young, the more devastating the news is. The social psychologist Jonathan Haidt has written a new book called The Anxious Generation: How the Great Rewiring of Childhood is Causing an Epidemic of Mental Illness. In this book, he laments the loss of a play-based society to a phone-based society where everyone is in front of screens all the time. And the introduction of the cell phone or the iPhone correlates with the collapse of mental health in young people in our own country. Something has happened to those who were born after 1995. Anxiety and depression rates have skyrocketed. Self-harm has increased 150% among teenage girls. Suicide among the young is up 50%. Now, there are many reasons why technology might have a negative impact on our mental health, but for my purposes this morning, I want to focus on cyberbullying. Children and youth no longer have to worry about the bully on the playground only. They have to worry about the bully on the internet who can reach them 24/7. Some of those cyberbullies may even be nice people if you met them in person. But children are not the only ones impacted. One of my roles is I serve as the chaplain to the Board of Trustees for our denomination, the Unitarian Universalist Association. And one of the more unpleasant aspects of serving on a national body is that you get emails from all over the nation from people, and the vast majority of these emails are kind and constructive, but there has developed a subculture of cyberbullying that has laid a heavy toll on our volunteer leaders. And I will say, as a chaplain, that's one of my primary responsibilities, is just to deal with the mental health toil of that kind of barrage of hostility. And there's a letter circulating on the internet that people are writing to support the leaders of the denomination, but not just the leaders, anybody in the denomination, and encourage you guys to use courteous and kind and thoughtful language when we're in communication about the issues that we have common concerns about. Now, no doubt many of the people who send these hostile emails are Dr. Jekyll in their congregation. Loved people, but on the internet, they are Mr. Email. So what are some of the spiritual disciplines that can help us navigate the difficult waters of the age of the internet? Here are 4 options. One of the spiritual disciplines that I've developed later in life is I now say a prayer before I open my email. Because when we open our email, we're inviting other people into our lives, other people into our thoughts. And so I feel the need to say a prayer to ground myself, to center myself, so that I can receive those messages in peace, staying centered and balanced in midst of the whirlwind of electronic communication. Another spiritual discipline is that whenever we read the first few lines of an email and we're sure it's a flame, what we can do is just pick up the phone and call that person. Or just email them and say, let's get together and talk in person. Because people are much nicer in person than they are on the internet. And that you see each other's faces, you see each other's expressions, you can hear each other's tone of voice, and that helps reduce the opportunities to create or inflame a conflict. A third spiritual discipline is to meditate on the brevity of life. My recent diagnosis with cancer has given me an opportunity to do just that. At this point, I have a good treatment plan, and I'm very hopeful, but there was a lot of uncertainty before getting to that point, and there's been a lot of anxiety. And it's helped me rethink why church is so important. Because many people walk through the doors of this church for the first time because they've got a diagnosis they weren't expecting, or they got bad news about a divorce, or a loss of a loved one, or some other traumatic experience. And this experience reminds me of why we are here for. So we can take a lesson from the Beatles. Life is very short, and there's no time for fussing and fighting, my friends. The internet was designed for conflict, designed to exacerbate conflict. The algorithms are designed to irritate us. Conflict leads to clicks, which leads to cash, leads to ka-ching. Divisiveness has been monetized. So let's remember to take a break from our screens, put down our iPhones and our laptops, and look around at life. Look around at the life that is inside this room. Look around at the faces of people we know and people we hope to get to know. Take a moment to drink in the greenery that kind of comes through our windows from the trees and from the hillside. To drink in life. My old seminary professor said, people love to join a church, but they will never join a conflict. So let's aspire to be a church and not a conflict. Let's aspire to be a church where all can know life and have it more abundantly. Last of all, I offer practical advice from the age before the internet based on a story that Walter Davis once told me. And I have a hat that someone gave me that said, this is from Doris Gove and Jeff Meller. It says, pastor warning, anything you say or do could be used in a sermon. So, Walter, it's your turn. Walter told me that he once had a secretary back in the days when you had such things, and he would dictate a letter to her, and she would write it up and bring it back to him, and he would read it, and he would say, this isn't what I said, and she would say, this is what you meant to say. So before we send our next email or before we post something on the social media, we can look it over carefully to make sure it's what we meant to say. Review our own writing to make sure that it is kind and courteous and thoughtful as we want it to be before we hit the send button or the post button. And we can apply that four-way test that they use in the Rotary Club. We can ask ourselves of our post or of our email, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? If the answer to that question or any of those questions is no, then we would be better to pause and wait 24 hours and think about it before we post or send that email. Whenever we feel like a charioteer torn between the impulses to send an email and not send an email, we should pause, give ourselves a day or so to think it over, because sometimes just a little patience is the only difference between Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Email. So be it. I invite you to rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, which also will be led. So, Another World is Possible.
I don't believe that the world we see right now is the only world that is possible. I don't believe that the state of things right now is the only state of things that is possible. I think there is another world that is possible that we could build together. Do you believe that? Yeah! If you believe that, I need you to say this with me. Can we have some more bass? We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. Come on.
We are unstoppable. Another world is possible.
Okay. Let's listen to that bass. Can we turn it up more? We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. Last time. We are unstoppable. Another world is possible, because it doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. Sing out, y'all. It doesn't have to be like this. Come on, come on. It doesn't have to be like this. Sing it like you mean it. It doesn't have to be like this. A little louder.
It doesn't have to be like this.
Even louder.
It doesn't have to be like this.
One more time. It doesn't have to be like this. Now.
Today, another world is possible. All right.
Today, another world is possible. Let's try it again.
Today, another world is possible.
One last time.
Today,
Another world is possible. Because it doesn't have to be like
It doesn't have to be like
this. Everybody over here, doesn't have to be like this. Now just this side. It doesn't have to be like this. Keep this going. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this.
Another
It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. Last time. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. Now today.
Prophetic Church, the world awaits your liberating ministry. Go forward in the power of love. Proclaim the truth that makes us free.